What's up, folks? You believe that? Hold on. Do you believe that? Let's go.
What is going on, Buff Nation? I think we might have 10 high school guys part of this class by the time the season rolls around. That's always nice. Smash that like. Y'all let me know how you guys are doing today. And windy day in Boulder. We got like a wind warning today. So I haven't seen what we're doing for the scrimmage, if that's inside or outside. But hey, if it's outside, it's going to be hard throwing the ball today. I'll tell you that. But hey, I love this. I think that this is a really interesting commit for a lot of different reasons. And so, I'm a little bit late usually. I get this stuff going out same day, but wanted to take some time to do a little bit more of a deep dive on Malakai Murphy, figure out a little bit more about him before I went on and gave you my 2 cents. So let's go ahead and get started, and appreciate hitting that like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and of course joining us on our way to 10,000 subs. Let's go ahead and get to it, okay? And this is how I want to open this thing up, all right, guys, is by saying, yes, I know that these types of stories are more so exceptions to the rule, but it's always really cool when you got guys on your team kind of come in with this same background, or they kind of come in as this underdog, and you want to see what they can do. Maybe they can get to that place. So you probably saw I had Devon Witherspoon on the thumbnail of this video. And if you didn't know him, top 5 pick in the NFL draft out of Illinois, he was a 0-star recruit, which is crazy, right? And ended up, if I remember correctly, I think he ended up starting as a true freshman for the University of Illinois. Absolutely insane stuff. And it's always cool when you have a guy that's like a 0-star guy that gets an offer, chooses to sign here. Hey, let's see what he can do. Why might there be some reasons why he was overlooked? We'll get into that. But the first thing before I dive into the highlights is just to give you a little bit of background in what brought him to the Buffs. If you don't know this already, this is a Coach Riss guy, okay? Coach Riss, Devon, one of the architects of the FAMU football program over the last handful of years, was recruiting Malakai Murphy, 6'1", 190 pounds. Hey, these guys are still young. They can learn technique. They can learn footwork. They can still get stronger and faster and learn the game more. But you can't teach 6'1". I love the fact that we're getting another cornerback, another defensive back that is 6 feet and above, has some nice length to him. And Devon Witherspoon, I think a lot of the reasons that he was overlooked during his time in his high school recruiting period is because he just started playing football his junior year of high school. So I don't think that's the case for Malakai Murphy, but went to a smaller school, played in a smaller classification in Florida, and sometimes guys get overlooked. Being a guy that lived in West Texas for 7 years, a guy that was also overlooked that play at the 2A level in Texas, but then ended up being one of my favorite college football players of all time, Colt McCoy. He was a quarterback over at Jim Ned, just outside of Abilene, set some records at 2A, the 2A level for Jim Ned out there in Tuscola. And y'all know what Colt McCoy did throughout his college and professional career. Made a really good life for himself. And so Malakai Murphy played in the 2S division in Florida. And you can kind of see this when we turn on the tape. You could tell, like, he's not necessarily going up against, the types of athletes maybe that we see in some of the other tapes that we take a look at the high school level of other guys that we're recruiting or that we've signed. But again, one of the things that I think is really cool is that 6'1" guy. He's had a long time relationship now with Devon Rispris, and I think he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder to prove something. Absolutely. And I think if you watch a lot of what Coach Riss puts up on YouTube talking about how, hey, this is how we look at social media. This is how we recruit you. This is how we keep an eye on you. It's cool. Like, he only puts out like really positive stuff on his social media platforms, and I really do appreciate that. And I think as we dive into the tape, there's some stuff to really be excited about. So yeah, big oil bang. Yeah, first spring scrimmage today. We're under like a high wind warning right now, which is insane. I was out in Boulder earlier this morning. We might get wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour today, so we'll see how that goes. But this took a little while for me to find, but his stats from his senior year here, again, nice. 30 total tackles, 4 pass defenses, no picks, but hey, picks, they're always like icing on the cake, right? That's not what you should be looking for, I guess, is like the first thing. But I do like to see that he's, uh, he averaged over a tackle a game, obviously, and they went to the state championship this past year. So let's go ahead and dive into the tape, and I'll show you guys what I really liked, what I really noticed here in this tape. So let me go ahead, and hopefully you guys can see that. Yes, you can. Okay, wonderful. And let's see. And they're going to make me watch this ad, of course. Yeah, Cam Duncan, Red Rocks cancel the concert because they may see winds up to 100 miles an hour. Yeah, it's insane. I think I'm going to skip out on the Nuggets game today just because I think I'm going to sell my ticket, just because I just don't want to walk through the wind. I know I'm a wuss, but hey, let's get into this tape. Should be fun stuff. So one of the themes that I noticed in his tape is that pretty much against all these wide receivers that he's going up against, he really does a good job of just staying on their hip, mirroring them really well. This is a nice open field tackle where he comes up and just lays the wood. I do wonder if he might transition to safety at some point. I do wonder that because I do wonder if he might have a more difficult time keeping up with faster receivers at the power 4 level. But again, like I said, these guys can continue to improve their speed and footwork being as young as they are. But I think, especially when you see how he tackles, he he might turn out to be a better safety than maybe corner at the college level. So I'm curious what you guys think about that. But one of the things that he said when I was reading, I think Adam Munster Tiger's interview of him or article of him, he was talking about how he feels like he really excels in press coverage. He really likes and prides himself on being a physical corner. And look how he just shoves this guy into the sideline, playing through the whistle. I love to see this kind of stuff. That type of attitude and aggression was one of the first things that really stood out to me, taking a look at this at like 2 a.m. last night. And then again, does a great job of staying with the receiver, getting his head around. Okay. Really good job there. Then playing some off coverage here. And you see he does a great job of understanding his assignment where he plays this zone really well, where he comes off that initial matchup. Goes this guy who's kind of running this corner route and is able to undercut it. I think dropped that interception, but again, made the right read, made the right play. Look how he chases this guy down in the open field. That type of competitiveness is what you love to see. Then look at this backside pursuit here in the run game. Again, this is why I wonder if he might turn out to be a better safety than corner. Like a wrestling move type tackle. No hip drop penalty there. You can also play a little bit of special teams, and that's probably going to be his quickest path to playing time this year. And look at that. Just taking the guy completely out of the play, shoving him onto the sideline. Love to see that. Really solid coverage here. I mean, again, he got good leverage right there first, and he had the better angle to the ball than the wide receiver, and his safety kind of came up and made the play there. But really good coverage. And I mean, did a great job going up against this wide receiver on this release, just pushing him completely off to the sideline again. Really good stuff. Too bad there was a touchdown right there, but hey, it's not his fault. Again, guys, I think they were 14-1, lost the state final this year. This little hand battle there. Again, sticking on whatever receiver. And then this is a bigger wide receiver. You know, he's going up against some smaller wide receivers earlier on in this tape that didn't really want much to do with him in terms of seeking any contact. But we'll see. I mean, he can fight with those thicker, bigger wide receivers. Shows a willingness to do that. You know, he ain't no bitch. Then look how he comes up in this play. He's a quarterback out of bounds there. It's more one-on-one going up against a guy that a little bit bigger than him. Going back shoulder. Or no, wasn't thrown to him. I mean, really solid tackling. That's what I love. You know, one of the things I loved about Cormani McLean's tape, first thing, you know, is that he's showing his hits, his tackles first in his highlight tape. And I thought that was really cool. And you see some really good open field tackles here from Malakai Murphy. Getting solid coverage. And I think Devon Witherspoon, if I said this, if I didn't already say this, he was a guy that didn't start playing till his junior year of high school, which is why he was like a 0-star guy, and also out of Florida. Sticks with this wide receiver really well on this double move here. And there's just no chance. That wide receiver had no chance. Then, yeah, here's a look where he's kind of playing more so that deep safety role, center fielder. And look how he comes up and just dishes out the contact. I love to see that. Again, so 6'1", 190 pounds. He's probably going to come in around that same size that Carter Stoutmeyer was last year. I think Carter might have been already 200 pounds. So we'll see. I hope he's really I imagine he's going to be really working this spring and summer before he gets to campus. Well, I guess he gets here before summer starts. May 23rd is when he's expected to be here. Here are some of his special teams clips. Nice little tackle there. Again, 30 tackles on the year, 4 pass defenses, no picks. But again, like I said, the picks, that's kind of a icing on the cake type of thing. And this, it's like, okay, you'd like to see him maybe jump this route or whatever, but I'm probably just splitting hairs. Biggest thing to take away from this is the open field tackle right after he catches it, allowing no more yardage upfield. Another kind of safety look right there. And then pursuing, being part of wrapping him up. Yeah, another clip here of where he helps bring that runner down, or rather brings him out of bounds there. Dang. And again, in that run pursuit, I think that's the biggest thing that sticks out to me. So that's his clip with his like senior year highlight tape, but I wanted to also show you guys his highlight reel. It's just like a minute or so in the state championship game. Again, it's just a highlight reel. So we'll see. Like, I don't know what happened outside of these plays, but at least on these plays, I don't think the quarterback threw in his direction once. That's always kind of interesting. Oh, a little busted coverage right there. Yeah, I think we already saw that one. Nice hands. You see he's got a nice wingspan too. Nice long arms. He does a good job again of just sticking with this wide receiver on this little slant. And this was cool. They were playing the state final over at the FAMU stadium. Again, sometimes you see these smaller schools in different states. They don't always play in like the biggest stadium or whatever. But I think that's real cool that they're playing at FAMU, and obviously he's a Devon guy. I mean, yeah, I don't think the quarterback threw in his direction once, and I thought he was playing pretty good coverage on these guys. I mean, I guess I will make this comparison just for the example, and I like to see him again getting involved in the run game there. But Champ Bailey or Darrelle Revis, I believe they had seasons in the NFL where they didn't have picks, and that's just because they weren't thrown at. Maybe that's the case for Malakai Murphy. We'll just have to see. But nonetheless, some interesting stuff. Again, you can't teach 6'1". I don't like short football players. So the fact that we're bringing in another DB that's 6'1", 190 pounds as a true freshman, I love it. I think it's exciting stuff. And again, I think has a lot of the physical tools. We'll see what he can do working with Prime and the rest of the defensive staff to see how he develops. Again, these are underdog stories, so I think they're really cool to pay attention to and keep your eye on. Can he be our own Devon Witherspoon? I mean, wouldn't that be really cool? I think so. But hey, we're at 9 high school guys now for the class of 2024. That's great, and hopefully we can bring in somebody else, another guy or two. I think that would be wonderful. Might I say, on the defensive line or the offensive line? Wouldn't that be nice to get another guy? But I'm definitely going to be paying attention to Malakai Murphy and Ben Boozy as kind of later guys signing with the team. I would imagine, I think 24/7 normally does this, right? But if a guy is signed to a Power 4 team, they'll usually just give him a 3-star rating here at some point, right? So I would imagine he'll be given some sort of 3-star rating. And I think he's added to the 24/7 site already. But yeah, a guy to keep an eye on, especially want to keep an eye on, like Coach Riss, like his guys that he's bringing in, I think are really interesting. So I think he had other offers, of course, would have been offered by FAMU. I think if Rispris was there, and then had some other D2 and FCS offers. But hey, this is really great. We've needed to bring in some younger talent into the pipeline just because of how small our class is. I'm not going to complain at all signing some other guys right now. I don't care what they're rated. I am very interested to see how Malakai Murphy transitions to this level. So I really like it. Yeah, Cam Duncan, people saying he plays like a young Deion Sanders. Yes. So y'all go show him some love on Twitter, or I'm sure he's got an Instagram too. But again, it's got the physical tools. Now will he take to the coaching? And what's fun about a lot of these guys coming in, whether they're transfers or high school guys, they got the physical tools, but it's really up to them. How much work they're going to continue to put in outside of, the designated hours that really do make a difference. And so if he's going to come in here and grind, who's to say what he becomes, much like all these other guys on the team. So I'm going to be watching him for sure. Him and Ben Boozy, absolutely. let me go to the scholarship chart real quick. Because again, I do wonder if he might turn out to be a better safety than cornerback. I don't necessarily feel like I see, the hips as fluid as we see with some of our other cornerbacks that we have right now. And so we'll have to see. Let me know in the comments. Do you see him sticking at corner? Do you see him making that transition to safety eventually? But right now we don't have him added onto the scholarship chart. But interested to see what Adam Hopkins does this year as well. But with losing Omarion, Cooper, Preston Hodge, Travis J, and Travis Hunter, all likely this year after this season's over, we're going to need some of our guys in the pipeline to start really stepping up and playing a larger role. It's always ideal if you can give these guys a year or two before you're thrusting them out there into starting or heavy rotational roles. Again, most guys, if they're absolute beasts, then yes, get them on the field. But I feel like 95% of the time you need these guys to, take a year or two to get acclimated to the college speed, the college, level, especially playing Big 12 football. And I'm excited to see like what these guys can do, no doubt. So I'll get to some of your comments here for just a little bit, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, smash that like button. Appreciate it, Hawkins, as always. Tyree Harris saying he's going to be nice on special teams. I can see him being a gunner on punt or punt return, L1 or R4 on kickoff. Yes. And that's one thing that I liked about Ben Boozy too, is that in his highlight reel, you had him on kickoff coverage as well. And y'all know we did struggle with our coverage on both kick and punt return last year. And I feel like it's probably wide open for those positions. So that's the first way to get playing time and to start earning trust of the coaches. It's being a good special teams player. Yeah, exactly. Fiji 19. Glad they're getting high school guys. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to complain at all right now on bringing in other guys. Again, I don't care what they're rated as. We just need to spread out this, the eligibility throughout the different years. So I was hoping that we would have gotten like at least around 15 guys this past year. Now that's my hope for this next recruiting class, that it's at least 15 guys. But let's take a look at here really quick, the 24/7. We're up to 9 guys. So that's wonderful. Jordan Seaton, Brandon Davis Swain, Eric Brantley, Michael Welsh, all enrollees. And then coming soon to a well-off media video near you, Malakai Murphy, Draylon Miller, Cam Michael, Ben Boozy, Ebenezer Boozy, and Kyron Garcia. Again, a lot of these guys are players that can probably more so play quicker or sooner rather than later. Outside of Jordan Seaton, I'm not really expecting any of these guys to be starters for us, but maybe some can earn some substantial rotational minutes for us. That would just be that's like playing with house money. If these guys are able to contribute and even in a rotational role their true freshman year. And if I can talk, Draylon Miller, Cam Michael, these are guys that I would expect to get on the field at some point during the season this year. And then I kind of see Malakai Murphy, Ben Boozy, Kyron Garcia more so as developmental guys. And so we'll have to see what happens with them here. And yeah, it's going to be fun to see what the coaching staff does with them. So yeah, right now, overall rank 22 overall. That's wonderful. And guys, especially again, a 4-win team getting an overall recruiting class of 22. That's wonderful. I think we were 21 the year prior after a 1-11 year. So again, if we get to a bowl game, if we get 7, 8, 9, 10 wins, I think you're going to see us in the top 15 or at least around that range this year. If we get that winning season, that's why I don't have a huge issue with us doubling down on the transfer portal this year. We have to win this year. we have to win. So it makes sense that we're bringing in a lot of college football players that already have that veteran college football playing experience. But I would love us. I mean, Omar White, can that happen, please? Think he got all of his stuff figured out. So maybe there's a chance we see him sign at some point, and that would be obviously a huge deal. You know, I think Ben Boozy was dealing with that bogus misdemeanor charge, which was why he dropped with his recruiting momentum and all of that. Again, sometimes you see those guys kind of lose a little bit of steam if they're dealing with whether they're valid or bogus legal stuff. But I'm really excited to see what he can do. Eric Moore, it's good to see you, man. Malakai Murphy is a dog. Absolutely. Y'all go check out his interview. I think I might have retweeted it on my page that he did, I think, with one of the local reporters out there in Starke, Florida, where he committed on Friday, I guess. And yeah, I love that he was wearing all the gold. It was awesome. The gold grill. Gotta love it. Fits right in, of course, with everything here at CU. And sad that his high school was red, but we can get over that. We can get over that. So that's out of his control, but excited to see what he's going to do here as a Buff. And it's always nice to have a mix of, yes, blue chip guys, but also to have a group of guys that are overlooked, that are underrated, that really come in not being told that they're the greatest thing on earth, not being told that they have an easy path to the pros. Y'all know me, like sometimes I feel like all this schoolwork and all this stuff. Again, who was it? Cardell Jones at Ohio State said, man, we didn't come to Ohio State to play school. Absolutely. Like, I get it. Like, football is your number one priority there. Like, while you're on the team, I know that's not politically correct for me to say, but that doesn't mean you can't just treat the academic portions of things like it doesn't matter at all. And I love how Coach Prime brought that up. He's like, hey, what are the draft grades of these guys that are goofing off in class and not giving a shit? Yeah, because it's true. I think right now we probably see with this group that we have right now, somewhere between 5 and 10% of the guys who are on the team right now spend some time in the NFL, have a cup of coffee in the NFL and above. So yeah, I love that Coach Prime said that. Again, the majority of these guys aren't going pro, so we got to make sure that they get their degree. And it's nice to have guys coming in here with a chip on their shoulder, with something to prove, that haven't been told they're, God's greatest gift to every football team. And it's going to help balance out this mojo a little bit, Molly Red saying 45 tackles and 11 pass breakups. Is that throughout his career? I don't understand why this information is always, it's not just with Malakai Murphy, but I feel like with Max Preps in general, it's just hard to find everybody's stats, probably because they transfer schools so often. I think that Murphy was at another school prior to finishing his career at Bradford, again, which can impact recruiting momentum, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm really pumped to see what happens with him. And yeah, I guess that's all I got, guys. I'm going to get to the gym for a little bit, enjoy my Saturday, maybe I'm sure some videos are being published later today on how the scrimmage went. So that'll be fun to take a look at. And I will be back either today or tomorrow. Y'all know how it is. Appreciate y'all's chiming in the comments. Smash that like on the way out and subscribe if you haven't, because we're talking Buffs every day. I'll see y'all later. And as always, y'all, let's go Buffs.